Welcome everyone to the wrestler review.
Oh my God! Did you almost introduce John and Dylan online? Oh my
Yeah,
God!
whatever. It's the same
Whoa.
fucking shit.
That's like bringing your side piece to Easter dinner, which is, I assume, what just wrapped up, given Dylan's background. For those of you not watching on YouTube, you're fucking losers. Second of all, for those of
Yeah,
you,
he's a suck ass.
yeah, you just listening to us, you need to watch
He's a
us.
suck-
You need
he can
to, you
suck
need to
my
see
dick.
how pale and unhealthy we look, even though we're both very healthy.
Yeah.
Dylan is coming to us from every Canadian suburban home. They all have that white. They all got the heat. You gotta have a table. Yeah, you gotta have a chandelier, and you gotta have a painting of fruit.
Yeah, you gotta have a who did your art? Someone from HomeSense. You know
Yeah.
how that must pay. I was like thinking about it. They sell art in HomeSense, and people will be like, "This picture looks good," which is crazy. It's just
Big
go
dog.
to a Valley Village.
Big dog. They sell so much art on cruises, and people buy it. Like, it's nuts.
That's fucking crazy.
It was fucking crazy. And I made a lot of fun of people buying the art, and the cruise people were like, people who buy the art are going to be upset. And one woman was like, I like the art on the cruise. It's one of the reasons why I get on the cruise. And I got to tell you, I think about that woman every day. Every day. She got on a boat to eat at a buffet because she likes a painting of Superman near a river. Like, it's fucking insane. America it is so America sometimes.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've thought of this many times, but you know what? If you really want to display some fun art in your house, either A, get the painting from Goodfellas, or B, if you know someone who can draw things, just literally pay them to draw something.
Dylan, you have the best painting in the world, and why it is not hung in a place of prominence, I'll never know. That painting you have of the Big Boss Man Ray trailer.
Oh, I do, yes. Well, the reason for that is, if you don't know, listen, here are the phases of that. Is that a fucking picture of a cop? No, it's a wrestler. That's worse.
Yeah, it's so much worse. That's so...
Is that fucking Derek Chauvin? No, that's Big Boss Man. He actually had a Confederate flag on his shirt. Oh, well, that's much worse.
Yeah. And he was a good guy. Like, they literally...
Oh, dude, he was the best guy.
Yeah, they cheered for him. Did he have a black partner? Kind of, he did. For the 80s, he did.
Yeah. I am in, by the way, I am in my wife brought me some True Classic shirts a while ago. Shapewear for mega people. Hell yeah.
I'm really happy to hear
I'm
that.
not fat. I'm in my True Classic shirt. I'm in a fucking girdle for fucking guys with guns.
First of all, your shoulders have never popped harder. Second of all, I now understand the confidence
it's a male
of the
girdle.
Cup. Yeah. So she bought you True Classic? I have to tell you this. If your
This was
wife
a while ago. This is an Instagram thing during the pandemic, I believe.
Okay, during the pandemic is totally fine. If it's recent, like, he needs some True Classic shirts, I was like, you have some wild Amazon purchases coming your way, big dog.
Oh yeah, Jeremy's Razors canceled Amazon, actually. I have my phone screen's dirty, and I'm like, fuck, I have to go leave the house to buy this.
I know. The amount of times I've deleted Amazon Prime about once every 2 weeks since Trump's election. Like, fully, like, take it off my phone, delete the membership, all fine. And then, like, in the run-up to everything that's going on in my life, it's like, fuck, I need those fuck. And I just reactivate the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, you have an unavoidable Amazon Prime membership for about 6 months. After you have a kid, there's no way.
There's nothing.
It's just like there's no way you're like, you know what?
What do you mean I need glass cleaner, pliers, and a Bible in 45 minutes? I don't know what to tell you, man, but if you think you can put together a crib without a Bible, I'd like to see you fucking try. You're like, what?
Yeah,
why does that
exactly.
involve a Bible? It activates the crib. Do I have to fucking explain everything to you?
Yeah, you're going to pay twice as much. You have to drive across town and deal with someone who's just touching the back of your neck for some reason.
That said, though, let me tell you this about places that I like going in person before we talk about maybe the greatest wrestler of all time, Bullet Bob Armstrong. Have you been to a paint store recently? They are so excited for your business. I'm pretty sure I could have gotten the guy to sleep with me. Like, he literally walked in. There's a mom and pop paint store with, like, the bell on the door. I walk in, no hello. Literally like, what can I do for you, big man? And I was like, am I the king of the paint store? It was the best. I also have been going to Home Depot a lot. Let me tell you where I get some goddamn attention. Home Depot, because I really look like a guy who would open fire in a Home Depot.
Oh, you look like your whole life is Home Depot. It's like when I go into a pawn shop.
Life. Oh,
the
my
disappointment in their face when I don't know. They just jump right into terminology. I'm like, listen, man, I just look like this.
I assume your arrival was foretold in ancient texts at a pawn shop one day. a charming man with a round head will come.
The best is this.
He
just
will
happened
show
today.
us how to flirt with high school girls.
I checked my oil in a parking lot, and a guy just stood there watching it.
Oh, of
Because he was,
course.
I think, like, this guy knows how to check his oil, which is just such a low bar that I have to live up to. It feels good.
My grandfather, quote unquote, Grampy, do you know how to check your oil? Yeah, but I work damn hard, so someone else is going to do it.
Just check the oil? All right.
Check the oil.
I gotta go pick up the child now, which is why
Understood.
I'm here.
Very good. I will, upon Dylan's return, we will discuss, but oh my God, he is so much tighter now. He's keeping it so much tighter. Dylan's keeping it 100.
All right.
Speak on this.
This week is Bullet Bob Armstrong, one of Jim Cornette's favorite wrestlers of all time.
And mine now. Holy
I like
shit.
him.
He's fun, isn't he?
He is like, and you know the thing about Bullet Bob Armstrong?
They didn't record his matches. Go ahead.
Well, also, seemingly zero, like he felt completely fulfilled by what he was doing.
Yeah.
And never wanted to go away from home that much, which, like, made him maybe the only pro wrestler. Like, it's impossible now to kind of be a actual good father and a pro wrestler,
especially in these years. Like, this is the problem, is like he could really be nice to his kids, but he does know Jackie Fargo and Bill Dundee. Like, it's like, I was really nice to my kids, and then Uncle Bill came over and showed them all a bunch of knives while his penis was out. Why? And he was like, it was Easter. Here's what I will say about Bullet Bob Armstrong. Bullet Bob Armstrong is a positive version of the comedian, a bunch of the Yuck Yucks comedians we started with, in that Bullet Bob Armstrong was confident enough to be like, this is enough for me. I don't need anything else. I'm really content. I am a celebrity in the 2 states that touch the state that I live in. I have 4 children that I will all make do my job because they are my cum. My cum does my job. You better do my job, my cum.
Oh yeah. Well, this was the industry where it was like, forget about being a wrestler. It'd be like, I run a paint shop, you run a fucking paint shop.
Yeah,
like,
this is like, he's from rural Tennessee in the 50s, and here's the other thing to know about Bullet Bob Armstrong. He had a weightlifting accident, which I did not know was possible, and ripped off his nose.
Yeah.
What the fucking hell?
180 pounds fell on his nose, and I'm imagining this and then that.
Like, I want to die. I wanted to die. That's so, what a crazy injury. Also, that he's like, well, I better put on a mask and keep wrestling. I gotta pay the bills. What if Jerry Jarrett may not be able to afford to keep the champagne in his fountain? I better get wrestling.
Well, this is the thing about stuff back then, was he could do that because it was like, okay, we're gonna like fake punch each other. The big high spot in the match, one of the big high spots in the matches we're about to watch, is an atomic drop, and it takes like 14 minutes to get to the atomic drop.
All 3 of these matches were so fun in such different ways. What's so interesting is, so basically, for those of you who don't know, and this is
I think
fascinating...
Dave Meltzer ruined wrestling, John.
I actually agree with you, Dylan. You know who else ruined wrestling? That Vince McMahon, that VKM.
I genuinely think Dave Meltzer ruined wrestling because people think that good matches have to be at least 20 minutes long. It's like, you don't. It's just
the first
10
match
minutes.
against the Tennessee Stud was one of, like, that match could close every AEW Dynamite, and every nerd would be like, actually, when he did the pub handle slam, I came.
Yeah, I mean, dude, because we grow up on wrestling, on like WWE wrestling, where it was like, when you see 2 guys punch each other, they're exhausted, and these guys are punching each other, but you know what? They got some energy behind it. I'd never seen someone punch someone with more energy in a fake fight in my life.
If World Star was just for white people, the first match, Tennessee Stud v. The Bullet, would be on White People World Star. Like, it is the most just sort of flaily, undefinite, like, no muscle definition in either arms, flailing at each other. Just
Bullet Bob has some definition, but like,
Bullet Bob
is like
looking...
a rule that
but Bullet Bob
isn't... could be the only muscular guy on the show. It was like someone signed a contract. No one else can touch a weight.
But Bullet Bob isn't muscular like he just worked out. Bullet Bob is like, man, when this guy was in his 20s, he used to do a bunch of push-ups. Like, it's like a very interesting, like, but like, Bullet Bob Armstrong looks like he used to work out, and Ron Fuller looks like he does not do that. That is bad.
Yeah, Ron Fuller Ron Fuller is like does give a good accounting for why people do steroids. Like it's just
Yeah.
like he just looks like he's 6'9". How much does he weigh? 200 pounds.
He is also very loose skin in certain parts of his body, tight in other places. It's where his organs have moved. Like it's just the one thing I just want to say.
If you smoke enough, your kidney goes to your lungs.
Jim Crockett is one of the luckiest motherfuckers in all of wrestling in that I don't think Mid-Atlantic was any good. Mid-Atlantic just had enough money to not reuse their tapes. While Memphis Continental Wrestling, the reason why we have very little evidence of Continental Wrestling, up to and including, like, there's no footage of Andy Kaufman fighting Jerry Lawler, really. Like, all of those different, like, Andy Kaufman things, there's not a ton of footage of because Jerry Jarrett was too cheap to not just reuse the tapes. They just reuse the tapes. They have no video library. It's the funniest thing in the entire world. That's what I discovered researching The Bullet, is, like, Jerry Jarrett was so penny-wise, pound-foolish, and he was just like, why would I need to preserve Bill Dundee being half naked in the ring, pointing into the crowd, going, which one of you go to school? Haha, never mind. I like to figure it out. We don't need that. That's called evidence. And as it turns out, it was basically, if these matches are anything to go by, the funnest wrestling ever, and Smoky Mountain. Smoky Mountain does a rule. It's really good.
But I mean, to your, like, regional comedian comparison, I don't think we're missing out on that much stuff because I think that they kind of did the same stuff all the time because that's why it worked. That's why you could port these guys into different territories and they would get over in 20 minutes because they would be like, first week I do this, second week I do this. Oh, they didn't really like the thing I did in the second week. Time to do the thing from the fourth week and the third week. And then, you know what I mean? Like your eyes kind of roll back in your head. It's the same thing as we obviously make a lot of like comparisons between this and comedy. It's the same thing as what I call like Google Maps expand jokes, where you just expand around the small town and be like, which one of these towns do I think is the dumb one? I'm going to go to, and here's what you do. If you want to, you go to the one with the second biggest population. Because they're not the actual hicks. They're the ones they want to tell themselves are hicks because we're the smart ones. Those guys with the second most people, they're the fucking idiots.
This is to Dylan's point. This is why Trump's war on Canada visa V50 first state would never work, because Canada is the perpetual. Actually, we're pretty good too country. So if you get into actually you're going to be a part of us competition with that guy. That guy's so excited to prove you wrong. Actually, no, I don't like that. Oh, you think I like canapes? You're incorrect.
Yeah. Bullet Bob Armstrong, though. Let's get into the first match. I don't know chronology because these are just on YouTube. So
yeah, well, we didn't know chronology, and I didn't need chronology. We're going first one, Tennessee Stud. Tennessee Stud match, best of the three.
Oh, yeah.
This match
Did you
was
watch any Tennessee Stud interviews after this?
I certainly did.
Yeah, buddy.
My
proto Kevin Nash, man, smoking a cigar, talking about how he's hot and how your grandpa thinks he's cool.
Where the
Papa
fuck?
standing up right now, going, "Look at that man! That's quite a man, Papa. You're right." And he's smoking a cigar in the 4 seconds that he lets the interviewer talk before he then talks over him and says another bunch of stuff. Dude, there's a 5-minute. I think it's like the first thing when you YouTube the Tennessee Stud, a 5-minute promo he gives that is like, does he repeat the same thing a bunch? 100%.
Of course.
Is it? It's 5 minutes long about like, I'm the Tennessee Stud. I am hot. I'm going to beat everyone up. I'm hot. Your grandpa can't beat me up. I'm gonna fuck your grandma. I'm hot. It's Kevin Nash, but like faster and more fun.
I have a theory. So here's my theory.
Yes.
It's based also by the fact that by the time Ron Fuller got to the WWE and WCW, his promos were literally like he never talked. He just said crazy gibberish and then dabbed his head with a napkin. As Colonel Robert Parker. Here's my theory on the Tennessee Stud. I don't think he can read, and I don't think he knows any of the definitions of any of the words he's using. He has just heard things, and he thinks that's what they mean. So if you watch his promos over again with that lens of he has been told these words and he's going to use them, but he is not 100% convinced of any one of their, I'm going to beat you up because I'm the Tennessee Stud.
I think that it's, once again, this speaks to the genius of Mr. Fuller, is that basically they were like, you're a mid-card guy. And he was like, okay, well, I'm bigger than everybody. I need to affect like a dumb fucking voice. Otherwise, I'm really going to nail the fact that I'm hot and tall. So, first thing he does to become unhot, shaves the mustache. Second thing he does is go like, oh, yeah. Basically, he does like a Foghorn Leghorn impression, becomes Foghorn Leghorn rather than Cool
Yeah.
Mr. Fuck, which was his, or would have been the ECW name, would have been Cool Mr.
Oh
Fuck.
my God. This is the other thing I wanted to bring up, which is Tennessee Stud in ECW. Tennessee Stud, the wrestler in ECW, literally his gimmick is pointing out which fans he slept with the girlfriends of. Your girlfriend's fat, but I fucked her anyway. Your mom don't know how to suck it. She don't. Like
His
the
big
opposite.
reveal would have been, there would have been vignettes not showing his face, and it would have been the guy that gave Francine the herpes.
Exactly, yes. He's the guy that came up with giving her herpes and invented that chant, which somehow makes him the biggest baby face that ECW has ever seen.
They would have intended him to be a heel, but his character would have been, I fucked Tommy Dreamer's mom, and then they would have been like, he is the biggest baby face in the world.
We have just sold out the Philadelphia Spectrum for 100 years. They have bought they bought tickets for one full century, and all they want is that guy. Here's how AEW's missed a trick: is they need Christian to like soften the "I fucked your mom" thing and just come out and be like, "Oh yeah, I fucked your mom." He will be the biggest babyface the wrestling has ever seen.
I am your dad. New character. I fucked your mom.
I am your dad. I fucked your mom. That literally, we need. Here's the problem with Dave Meltzer wrestling, as I call it now, is the modern era of wrestling. Too much subtlety. You're giving people too much room to think.
I think there's going to be a backlash to it when, like, I think we're coming on 10 years of Kenny Omega and Okada being the greatest wrestling match of all time, according to Meltzer, which obviously was awesome, but it's like now where it's like, okay, let's get some fucking Southern guys. Let's get some, you know what? Not even some Southern guys. From watching Robert Fuller talk, from listening to stuff about Bullet Bob, it's like, let's not get some Southern guys. Let's get some fucking gentlemen back in wrestling. It's like when Robert Fuller talks about Bob Armstrong, he's like, I met him we've been friends since we were seniors in high school. It was me and my actual family against him, who was the babyface, and because he, I believe, is a family member. It was like they truly like cared about each other.
Yeah. I mean, what's also crazy, it's so true, but it's also that thing of like Bullet Bob Armstrong, and to a certain extent the Fullers, are all just gym teachers that actually wanted to teach gym. They're in it for the love of the game. Like, what's your dream, Mr. Armstrong? You know, fat kids? I want to legally be allowed to throw dodgeballs at them.
But that's it. Like, I'm just a man with simple pleasures in life. I want to throw soft objects that, if you chuck them hard enough, hurt a fat boy. And frankly, that's fun for me.
I like 3 things: whistles, shorts, having fat people question whether or not they're people.
I like big breasts. I like them on women, and I like them a bit more on men, because then I get to make fun of those men to feel big.
Exactly. Here's what I like: big titties on my women, big titties on my men. Either way, I'm commenting when I'm at the bus stop.
Ma'am, sorry, you're a boy.
Pardon me. Yeah, pardon me, loser. Let me say this about Bullet Bob Armstrong and the Tennessee Stud do literally AEW style defense. They're throwing punches. That's about it. Then they're going to do one big move, and then so many heels interfere. The whole purpose of this match is to get the Bullet's mask off to reveal whether or not it is Bob Armstrong, because I couldn't tell if they're doing a program where, like, Bullet Bob Armstrong, loser leaves town. He came back as the Bullet.
After a loser leaves town. So he came back as Bullet Bob. They like 5
Well,
of them.
no, he's the Bullet, you fucking asshole.
Sorry,
except
he
for
becomes back as the Bullet, and then it's like, obviously that's Bob Armstrong. They unmask him. Gordon Soley says, cut to black, cut to black, cut to black, and then goes, oh no, I shouldn't have done that. And then it was like, yeah, we can't see anything. And then Gordon Soley does this whole thing like, did anyone take a picture? And the crowd cheers no, and they're like, oh, well, you know.
It was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, which is just sort of like, fuck you, do-over. How about that, heels? Fuck yourself. And then, best thing of the entire match is the promo with the Tennessee Stud and the Stud Stable. And they're like, they're literally like, we're going to redo the card so that there's a loser leaves town match against you and the Bullet. And he's like, no, we're not doing that. And then one of his goons is like, I'll do it. And he's like, great, he's doing it. It's the best, like, Saturday morning bad guy shit I've ever seen in my entire life. It gets across as like, this guy is a coward. It is such good shit. Like, it is. I hate that like, this goodness. Shut up for a second. This goodness was the fuel. Yeah, you be quiet. Suddenly aggressive. This is what ends our friendship. actually stop it, is all of this good shit fueled Jerry Jarrett, who I actually now think is the worst. I think Jerry Jarrett is the worst wrestling promoter of the territory era in terms of personality and behavior, and that is truly saying something. Bill Watts looked the other way on pedophiles, and I still think Jerry Jarrett is a worse man. Yeah, I said it. I'll share
Jerry
it.
Jarrett didn't look the other way on. Jerry Jarrett was like,
1,000 apologies.
If Bill
What
Watts
am I
looked
saying?
the other way,
Either way.
then Jerry Jarrett was like just hanging out with Epstein. I don't know.
Yeah, Jerry. Yeah, pardon me. Yeah, Bill Watts was like, "Oh, so that's your plane, Jeffrey? That's weird." Jerry Jarrett was like, "It was my idea for him to get the island because I wanted to go to the island."
Yeah.
Yeah. What am I saying? Yeah, Jerry Jarrett stinks.
Epstein went to bars. Jerry Lawler built a building they would come into. Like Jerry Lawler built an orphanage. Epstein went to the orphanage.
Yeah, you're so right. Yeah, Jerry Jarrett stinks. Like, he's just such an asshole. He was mean to. He didn't like Bullet Bob apparently, or some shit. Like, it's so fucked.
Of course he didn't like Bullet Bob, because Bullet Bob was like, I'm not working for that money. I'm gonna stay here. And then fucking Jerry Jarrett was, I assume, just like, fuck, man, we just need to cycle Lawler out.
Yeah, no, and they won't. They did. They would cycle Lawler out 6 months on, 6 months off.
But I mean, like, you know, as we need other options for Lawler. Bullet Bob's a really good one. Bullet Bob won't do it. Anyway, I'm speaking to something I don't know that much about now. Here's what I do know from watching this match. Tiny things from wrestling that have gone. Headlock punch.
Oh.
Being like a huge move. Like a huge punch, headlock punch. Knee lift for tall guys. Being tall doesn't automatically mean that you can lift somebody. Like Vince McMahon type of wrestling is someone 6'8", they can obviously they're the strongest person, and that's obviously Robert Fuller. You can't pretend that he's 6'8" of cigarettes.
But what I want to say about knee lifts, and there's a bunch of other moves in this, like there's knee lifts, there's so much stuff off the ropes of like a big move is a body tackle off a rope, they recover, come at each other. Is the match is much this is a weird thing. It's like Stepdad Mortal Kombat is this match. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, because Bullet Bob's like big crazy move is fucking the Steamboat Karate Chop.
Yeah, like it's fucking
throw him off the ropes and then karate chop him. Also, the way Robert Fuller does the Irish whip is something that is lost to time, which is the Irish whip now is you take the wrist, put your hand on his back, and throw the guy. But Fuller would grab the guy by both hands and whip him against the ropes, which, you know, wrestling makes no sense anyway, so why not do that? Like, yeah, you hurt his shoulder. You hurt his back and you dislocated his shoulder by doing the whip.
I think that the justification of the Irish whip provided by Gorilla Monsoon is one of the greatest, like, wrestling kind of like, you got to look the other way, which is like it's one of the celebrities is like, oh, he's helping him along. And Gorilla goes, no, he's so strong that he forced him to run.
That's great.
Yep. I don't know
anyone's... All I
do
is sum up with some bullshit thing that doesn't make any sense, that you know, it's like wrestling psychology and making people believe it is a lot like flat earth theory.
I was about to say this.
You can definitely prove that the earth is round, but doing it, you'd have to use science, and it would take more than 5 seconds. So if you can create doubt in less than 5 seconds, then you've just made wrestling fun.
Yeah. Or is it? Or did they?
Wrestling, I will say this, last thing that's fun. People ragging on, this is like going on 2 months now as we recorded this ahead. People ragging on Travis Scott coming out. I don't give a shit. I can't. By the time we record this, it's feasible that every person who even tans well could be in jail. Who gives a fuck if Travis Scott came out?
Dylan, I want to come to your house. I want to pay for your children to go to university, and I want to prepare your family a good meal, a good healthy meal with all of the food groups represented, because finally there's some fucking sanity in the world. I didn't want to bring this up because it was going to be recorded so ahead of time. Everyone being like, the Travis Scott thing is stupid and it makes no sense, and I didn't like the ending of that main event. And I'm like, oh, I guess you guys forgot that this is a thing that keeps going. So maybe the storyline isn't over, you fucking children. No, it's over now. It's over. It's the most annoying. And like, they're like, The Rock and Triple H are feuding because he went on the Pat McAfee show. And I'm like, or you guys are literally making them a social media sensation. So everyone's either saying Travis Scott or WWE, and they're trying to keep the attention going as their stock price and everything else is plummeting and another federal investigation is happening. You fucking idiots. Like, what are you talking about? It's a distraction.
Well, it is it's a false flag. It's, much
like 9/11.
Much like Travis Scott and 9/11. The commonalities, that'll be a 3.5 year long YouTube video I make. But it is
10 years of Travis Scott 9/11. We're doing, oh, by the way, I need to announce our next series. We're doing 1 full decade on Travis Scott's connections to 9/11.
I just mean that, like, I haven't listened to that many wrestling podcasts, and wrestling has been pretty well liked, except for AEW in the last bit. So this Travis Scott WrestleMania thing was my jump back into wrestling fan negativity, and it's like, who gives a shit? Like, who gives a fucking flying, especially when it's like what we used to complain about. What
this is
wrestling
what
fans used to complain about was like, hey, the guy who's everyone likes the most lost to another guy who everyone is disinterested in 14 seconds. And now it's like, Travis Scott took too long to walk to the ring, even though the thing that happened is something that everyone thinks is good. It's like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Literally, I was like, hey, we used to... literally, my thought was, oh, if you hated this, you will have hated every WrestleMania from WrestleMania 20 through 28. No, 38.
Yeah.
You literally are going to be like, these were all bad. And I'll be like, yeah, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Shut your fucking fuck mouth. Fuck face. Fuck.
Yeah, man. Roman Reigns. Suffer and succotash Roman Reigns. Everyone forgets that. But when, you know what, though? They were proven right. Cena and Roman Reigns, pretty good. All right, Gordon Soley lying was great.
So good.
And
Gordon
then he
Soley
covers for himself. But that's it. And then the winner of the match. Who is the winner of the match here?
I don't know. Bob. I think
the
Robert
match
Fuller.
The schmoz. The whole point of the match was Robert Fuller's going to unmask the Bullet. The Bullet gets unmasked, but they cut to black. So there's no real end to the match other than a schmoz. Brad Armstrong comes in. The whole reason I listened to a thing with Robert Fuller before this. And basically, Fuller was the face and Bullet Bob was the heel, and then the weightlifting accident happened, and Fuller became the heel, and Bob became the babyface. And basically, Fuller had a big family, and this is like, it was like their version of the Freebirds versus the Von Erichs, because that's how they rolled out all the Armstrong kids.
Oh, I mean, it's a very interesting. Oh, of course.
Because he was like, and I got another fucking son.
Yeah, and I got another fucking thin-chinned guy who's going to definitely appear a lot on Saturday Morning Wrestling. What? Shut up.
Yeah, it's like, basically it was like the Fullers and their cousins versus the Armstrong kids. And it was like, for a long time, they had every single title except the heavyweight title that Bullet Bob kept.
Well, what's also crazy
thing.
Is that like when Jim Cornette launches Smoky Mountain, which is the third match we're going to watch, like bringing Bullet Bob in basically was like, oh, this business will be a success now, because it's that thing of it was still close enough to the territories that you could bring Bullet Bob in as the commissioner who would occasionally wrestle specifically as the Bullet. And everyone watching it had been like, oh, my uncle used to talk about this in between him not wearing a shirt at a family event.
Well, yeah, you talked about this with Nick Aldis for a bit ago, but the old school way of doing the commissioner he's the commissioner. He's a bit older than everybody, but he's the classic, like, he's got one match left in him.
Oh.
And if you push him too far, he's going to bonk your tits.
Oh, by the way, if you would like to ever see this done badly, watch Fritz von Erich in WCCW, because literally every 8 months builds to, and maybe I'll come out of retirement.
Yeah.
And like,
he kills one of his kids.
Yeah, Fritz von Erich is like, he's visibly smoking and drunk on air, and the camera's not plugged in. All right, I'm in the match now. Fritz, the taping ended 4.5 hours ago. I'll fight my car. You're my wife.
Well, I mean, the gift of the Bob Armstrong, not that I think he's this type of guy, but he never was, like, overshadowed by any of his kids versus Fritz being like, oh, all 3 of his sons.
That's not true.
Were better than him.
Bullet Bob Armstrong killed Brad Armstrong, and I have the evidence.
Ooh. John, check this out.
Speak on this.
The Mongolian Stomper.
Oh. I have to say, the first time I've ever seen Archie Goldie, the Mongolian Stomper, Bret Hart's favorite wrestler, which is the
Temujin, you mean?
Pardon me?
Temujin.
Is this Temujin, the Mongolian Stomper? Weren't there 2 I don't think it's Temujin. I thought it was Archie Goldie was the Mongolian Stomper. Are there 2
his character, they call him Temujin. They don't call him the Mongolian Stomper. They say he's fighting Temujin.
No. I don't acknowledge
Temujin, who is what is the name of Genghis Khan.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So they call him. Basically, it's implied that everyone is fighting Genghis Khan.
I like that. I like that a lot, and here's why I like that.
Which is why they had all those matches that ended in sexual assault.
Yeah, it's why they had all those matches and ended with him just climbing a wall and murdering 1 million people.
Yeah, what he would do is he would appropriate the person's culture into his That would be a cool move if you just like you beat someone so you absorbed one of their moves.
I mean, that is actually a really good idea. That is up there. Dylan Gott has a bunch of very good booking ideas.
Appropriation, yeah.
Nothing better than the Playboy Playgirl. The world champion is she's just shagging a bunch of dudes, and it's just making everyone angry. I still I think that would get over so fucking fast.
Dude, people would fucking hate that. Anytime my guilty pleasure now is like I don't even watch TV shows. I just go on anytime a female comedian talks about sex, I go into the comments and like, this is what it's come to.
Oh.
That's the first one is always this is. Okay, we'll shut it down because I've never heard a woman say fuck.
What I didn't realize, I was talking to someone specifically about this, and they're like, the comments are crazy. What's more insane is the genuine critical DMs that they get. And I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, 8 paragraphs discussing someone who has watched all my comedy, and is like, you are too dirty and you need to be saved by Christ, and I'm the one who's going to save you. And you're like, okay, oh God, oh man, you ran this through Grammarly. By the way, Dylan, if you want to fire up some comments, Facebook is now my new favorite place to put stand-up comedy because the comment sections, yum, 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 yum.
Oh,
yum.
they're all, it's all nuts. I mean, I mean, I've recorded videos where like my kid was so needy at the time that I had to hold them and there was an entire one of the videos. The only reason it went viral is because people thought it was a fake baby. And they were like this, and then one guy dropped like I will say semester end essay about how it was a fake baby. Why would I do this? This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen an influencer do. Which calling a guy with 6,000 followers an influencer is fantastic.
Oh my God, it's where we're at now, people.
It's whatever. Anyway. Mongolian Stomper, Temujin. Nobody has legs. No one has ever heard of. Like, I would believe that they drive to the gym and remain in the gym while doing shoulder presses to avoid growing their leg muscles.
It was explained to me how you do legs as a wrestler. Kevin Nash actually explained this in a shoot interview. Yeah, you do upper body, and then it's time for legs. Where does legs happen? Somewhere else. You don't do that. Dutch Mantel used to make fun of people for going to the gym. You're going to be tired once we get to the matches, he would say. He would read a USA Today in the lobby of the gym. That's what he would do.
That's really funny.
There's a certain vintage of wrestling shoot stories that all involve USA Today's. That's late 80s, early 90s when it was like the big cool newspaper. It's a newspaper for all of America, and it's in color. Well,
I will say this about not going to the gym. Maybe it makes sense because Dutch Mantel's like wrestling a 40-minute match versus Kevin Nash is doing a 10-minute match. So maybe it makes sense for Kevin Nash is going to the gym. He's working out like a weightlifter, first of all, which is, I don't know if you've ever done those where it's like, oh, you're working out for power, which literally is you do a set of 5 and then you wait 4 fucking minutes and then you do another set of 5, 4 minutes, set of 3, 4 minutes, set of 3, 4 minutes, and then my favorite, sets of 1, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes. And you're supposed to do like 8 sets and it goes like 5, 3, 1. And like you're just on, and this is pre-phone. So you're getting drunk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
you're not like watching a video.
You're
just like hammered.
Oh, a murderer just came into Dylan's house. Oh no, kill me.
No, my kid fell down in his playpen, and he's openly watching the baby thing where he's debating whether he's sad or this is fine. He's sad. 1 sec.
Go ahead. Speaking of fucking units, Dylan's looking like he's keeping it 100.
But anyway, yeah, the Stomper comes out. When he does, he stomps.
He certainly does. I got to tell you, know what I like about the Mongolian Stomper? They put some thought into that gimmick. What's your gimmick? You know your feet? You put that on people's faces. That's it. That's all you need.
First of all, you're Genghis Khan. Second of all, you stomp shit.
Third of all, you're from
Khan,
Calgary.
Wouldn't I come in like some garb with a horse?
No.
We don't have money for that. You just fucking shut up.
Yeah, grow some facial hair and learn to speak Mongolian. What's Mongolian? It's not a real place. It's like fucking Atlantis. Genghis Khan is like Zeus. This is not real, Archie. For fuck's sakes, fuck you.
Your name is Archie.
Your name is Archie and you're from Calgary. Jesus fucking Christ.
Big headlock by Bullet Bob. The headlock is huge.
These are not rest holds. These are arresting holds. I have to just tell you, this whole match was made for me by the crowd because the crowd is literally like, let's fuck it. Like they're just so amped to watch what I assume is this. This guy stomps people. He's not fucking stomping the bullet, motherfuckers. Then that's exactly like, it's like every match is literally just like, man, I wonder what's going to happen when my favorite stepdad, the Bullet, shows up.
It's also like they are very realistic in that these matches are 5 minutes long and then there's a ref bump. It's not, when you think of these like, oh, they only do punches and all this shit. They're not doing this for like an hour. It's like Western or Southern slam, what they call it, smash bang Southern wrestling, where it's like, it's not like fucking Luthez, trying to pretend this is actual amateur wrestling with some punching. It's Bullet Bob doing flying punches and flying karate chops. It's what people want to see in a bar fight. Like, if you're in one of these if you're in like a small town, we all had the guy who did a kick once in a fight and he was legendary. It's like, that guy fucking kicked a guy. No one ever messed with the guy who threw one kick.
I literally can see the bouncer. He worked at a different bar on Bishop Street in Montreal when I lived there. And I wasn't even there for this, but one Saturday, a guy got super drunk and he gave him a spinning heel kick in the middle of the road. And to quote a really drunk French guy, and that guy got jacked off every day that week.
This one makes no sense. The end of this match makes no sense.
Why would it make any sense? I would like to know why the fuck you're applying logic to something involving Archie Goldie.
Yeah, I'm sorry. A white Mongolian.
Yeah.
Ref bump. Bullet Bob. There's a ref bump, which is WWF speak for, okay, they're about to protect this finisher. But then the ref gets up, counts to 3 off of Bullet Bob's elbow drop. And I guess the thing was supposed to be that the ref didn't see who he counted 3 for. As the ref is getting up, Archie Goldie attacks Bullet Bob with his boot, which is strong. So Bullet Bob is unconscious, and then the ref turns around and Archie Goldie's standing up, so I guess he thinks that Archie Goldie is the winner. And that's supposed to be the schmoz, I think.
Yeah, the ending, it's interesting you explaining the ending, because I did not even get that far. Like, I was just like, what the fuck? Here's the interesting thing about the ending of this match and the Tennessee Stud ending of that match. It both feels like they were like, all right, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3's for fucking losers. Goodbye. Like, it's just really like, did we write an ending? That's you. I don't write endings. I write beginnings. I like starts of things. You figure it out. I'm Jerry the King Lawler. I like the start of things. I like young women. I like the beginning of stories. I don't like the end of stories. Here's an end of story. She turns 11. Boo, boo.
Then she hits disgusting 15, which is garbage.
Yeah, this match now is old enough to know what I'm doing is wrong, so I don't like it. I'm Jerry Lawler.
This match learned critical thinking, and that's not my forte.
Yeah. This match has analyzed my behavior and realizes that I'm actually subtly controlling them. I don't like this match anymore.
But the belt gets held up, and then you gotta show up next week for Archie Goldie versus Bullet Bob. But that was like, it seemed like that's what it was. It was like, if you like your family, you were a heel, you were a babyface back in the day. And if you wanted to be on the road a lot, then you were a heel. And that's what you could do. You come into the territory, you beat 8 people, you stomp some shit, your boot is impenetrable, I guess, and fucking hell yeah.
It is also it's also incredible geographical advantage for them to be in Tennessee, Arkansas. Like, the thing with Tennessee that's crazy is also you can get to so many other states from Tennessee so quickly. Like, you're like, wait, how close is Georgia? And it's like a minute. Georgia's right. Like, Tennessee's this little sliver that runs and touches all these other different states. And so as you're in Tennessee, you can kind of zip across. Is the other advantage that Bullet Bob has is it's like, he's not like, the thing that's crazy about the Funks is that they build a territory in Amarillo, Texas. What else is there? Dory Funk is there. Billy Bob Thornton's family is there. Those aren't places. Yeah, there's no other place there. It's just a town with 2 weird cowboys who think they can fight you.
Yeah, it's people who are very, very tough and love the theater, so they can't bring themselves to learn Shakespeare. They have to play fight.
Yeah, I want you all to know that wrestling would have gotten so much better, so much quicker if we had just told jocks, actually, it's okay to be in theater, because that is like, wrestling is theater for dudes that don't want to disappoint their fathers.
Yeah, I mean, wrestling is now, I think, like the UFC, because all the crazy people that would have got into wrestling that would have made great territory heels and everything are now in the UFC. I think we said this 100 times.
Let me ask you this, though. Where did Archie Goldie, the Mongolian Stomper, end up at the end of his life?
Dead in the grave.
Sheriff's deputy in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Really?
Ran the paddy wagon, apparently. What a terrifying thing to wake up. You're half drunk, wake up at a police station. The hot breath of a fake Mongolian is on your face.
Is that Temujin? He thinks I'm Irish because he's calling it the paddy wagon.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I'm the Mongolian Stomper. This is the Afghanistan wagon.
There
Wait,
you
what?
go.
Yeah,
Is
I was
that
trying
one?
to think. He didn't really have any big enemies.
Well, no,
He
the place is
conquered
bordering
everyone.
Mongolia. You don't really want to call it the China wagon or whatever.
Well, no, because I was trying to go for civilizations he destroyed completely, and I know Afghanistan. Afghanistan is the famous one that poets followed his conquering of Afghanistan, and they thought that the mountains were snow capped, in summer, but it was actually just the piles of bones. So the story goes.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've listened to a couple things on Genghis Khan, not much, but first of all,
Yeah, we all listened to the Hardcore History back in 2012 when Joe Rogan wasn't this kind of crazy, and we were all like, yeah, I don't know why I'd ever listen to a 15-hour podcast about one guy. Actually, this is pretty rad. This is pretty rad, Dan Carlin. This is pretty good.
oh, I just mean that he would send a letter ahead of time and be like, hey, if you give up, just start paying me stuff and I won't need to kill your dad and your mom and make them make their dead bodies fuck in front of you while I kill your kid. And they're like, yeah, I think we could take you out, buddy. And he's like, all right. And then that would happen.
Did you ever read about what happened to Sparta? This is my new favorite thing about toughness.
No.
They had no commerce or anything else, so the other cities are just like, let's pay some people to kill these people, and that's what they did. Like, they were like, we're Sparta, we're super tough, and it's like, yeah, there's 1,800 guys, there's like 8 of you guys, we're gonna win. No, we're super tough. Nah, you're not.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna make more of you. We're not. We're not gonna let you do that. Well, why? Well, you don't have any food. You import the food from us, and we're just not gonna give you food. And it's just you're like, oh, that's right.
That's good. I mean, yeah. That's that, and you know what? I'm pretty sure someone in their head is trying to draw a correlation between Sparta and some society now. There is none.
There's none. Yeah.
There's none. It was a uniquely stupid fucking thing.
Yeah,
anyway,
Sparta was basically like if one of those Instagram accounts I follow for inspiration got a country for a bit. Like, yeah, it's basically
yeah.
what is going
if
to...
the guys who make this shirt, the shapewear shirt, got to run a country.
Oh, let's do our sponsors really quick. We're brought to you by Shapewear. Are you right wing and don't want to show people your belly? Shapewear, and also Too Good to Go. Too Good to Go has made it to Los Angeles. Every comedy show I have been to this week, comedians have had a lot of food in the back of those rooms because they stopped at the various LA bakeries and donut shops to get themselves some almost day-old donuts. And let me say this right now, it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to LA comedy. That's Too Good to Go, Uber for men.
Yeah. Hey, honey, I got some treats. Well, what'd you get some treats for the party? 1 donut, 5 croissants, and this thing's red and it's pussing. Oh, that's cream. Oh, that's much better.
Yeah. Oh, no. I shouldn't have
A beet
fucked it.
filled with mayonnaise. Too good to go. Anyway, John,
Dylan.
last match, lumberjack match. Referee is the big boss man against Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette takes a full month to get into the ring.
It is so good. How the fuck Jim Cornette was able to get permission for the big boss man? This Ray Traylor is at this time, I believe, in WCW as either the boss, my favorite version of the big boss man, it's him again, or the guardian angel. But because of Smoky Mountain's special relationship with the WWF, we get ourselves old school blue shirt big boss man. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, gets in as the big boss man, and really, I like a really perfectly cast thing too, because a lot of people, it's like, oh, this guy's the referee, so you're like, okay, but the big boss man obviously is a cop, so that's like an extension of an authority figure. It makes perfect then. There's such a lot of little stuff that Jim Cornette does well, and then also a bunch of stuff that's like really funny. Like his whole thing about like everyone is over 200 pounds unless it's like a non-wrestling person, and they have to be under 200. I mean, wearing Jerry the King Lawler's tights, but then with a t-shirt tucked in over it, just like making himself look shitty, was great.
Oh my God, he's also like, he's padded out. He does the heel thing for when they're wrestling, which is he puts a towel underneath the shirt here. And I don't know why, but it annoys the shit out of me. Like, I literally like,
well, yeah, just abandoning all, what do you call it? Abandoning all aesthetics in favor of just looking like a fucking loser. Like, he believes that's what a heel's supposed to be. Strong's army is on the outside. They all have tennis rackets. Cornette's criminals, which it was the heavenly bodies, so he is so right.
Yeah, 100% correct. That is legitimately, literally, we went exactly the same place. As soon as he said Cornette's, and these are Cornette's criminals, I was like, I got to do some Googling real quick. I feel a bit coming on. Yeah, literally a man known as the Gigolo is...
Oh, yeah, and he did a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, shaved a woman's head. All right.
Oh,
I'm gonna, just a fucking creep. Also, best thing about Cornette's Criminals, 2 different tag teams, which I love. I love a heel stable, 2 tag teams. I don't know why. It's just so off kilter and weird. I really enjoy it.
Cornette's Criminals, also, he comes in, says he's injured, classic. Comes in with a note from his mom saying he's injured. If I could, you know what? I don't know what kind of... There's too much comedy in the main event, some sort of indie bullshit for me, honestly, John.
What's also good about this is you don't understand how far back this goes because fucking Dick, Jim Cornette in the Memphis territory broke in because every week his mom would buy him a different wrestler to manage, and then he'd be fired by that wrestler at the end of the match for being annoying and bad. Like it's
I know. I'm just saying it's indie bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's too much comedy in the main event.
Yeah, but Jim Cornette cannot see that he literally is Kenny Omega of the 80s. Like, to your point of, like, Bullet Bob Armstrong flying across the ring doing flying punches and chops, like, literally Lou Thez and George Hackenschmidt were, like, throwing up inside their own urethras to try and burn their cum so no more kids would be born in this horrible place now that wrestling has lost its luster.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Bullet Bob Armstrong you whip a guy off the ropes, then do a karate chop, that would make... Lou Thez puke on his own ass.
Oh my god, he sewed up his own asshole, so he filled with shit and died the worst way possible because of what they did to wrestling. This is your fault, he would say.
Yeah, exactly. The Irish whip, that should be called the Protestant whip.
Yeah, exactly. Excuse me, where are you from? What is your racial ethnicity? I'm actually agnostic. Then you better not be fucking doing the Irish whip. That's a Catholic move.
Exactly. It should be called the Protestant whip, and the Irish whip should be literally whipping an Irishman who's not a wrestler. He just whipped that fucking Catholic piece of shit.
Yeah, you fucking piece of shit. I was about to say a very racist term for Irish people. Racist. Irish
punch,
people
chop, headlock punch. That's what Bullet Bob's got in his rage offense of finally getting to punch, chop, headlock punch. This is really cool. The only way Cornette gets the upper hand is by his criminals cheating on his behalf. So you get Jimmy Del Rey hitting him with a tennis racket. It's like if Cornette hits Bullet Bob with a tennis racket, he no-sells it. If one of his wrestlers does it, then Bullet Bob is down for a bit. He gets the powder thrown in his face by Dr. Tom Pritchard. That gives Cornette the upper hand for a bit. But then, of course, Bullet Bob takes the upper hand back, and Cornette starts bleeding, does some color. And the only slam that happens in this match is a pile driver. That's it.
It's wild.
There's literally punch, chop, headlocks, and then the pile driver. That's it.
It's sort of how you do a match with people who aren't supposed to be wrestlers anymore. Is like actually would be a lot closer to reality. But what makes the entire match is how long it takes Jim Cornette to get in the ring. Like, it is such well done. Like, hey, look, he's a piece of shit. Now he's going to be a piece of shit for a bit.
Yeah. And I mean, it makes sense. It's like, when you talk about how wrestling matches are, you know, there's no slams or whatever, there's no big high spots, that's because the stuff that's interesting happens is all character work. You're involving all the characters in it. So as far as like one-on-one action in any of these matches, even like the most you get is like 5 minutes.
I can't, like, it's just, here's my total takeaway is I cannot believe how fun Bob Armstrong, like, I was really like, this is going to be some boring old school Vern Gagne wrestling shit. Instead it's like, it's 5 minutes of a guy just punching, kicking and chopping people. And then Gordon Soley is going to just fully be drunk on TV for a bit. It's everything you ever wanted from wrestling.
Gordon Soley. Also, I love Gordon Soley's style where, like, you deliver things like it's a golf announcer, but the things happening are insane. Like, oh, the Mongolian Stomper has a real baby in the ring. He's about to put 2 pieces of bread on it and eat it like a sandwich. Oh, there's Bullet Bob in to save the baby. In saving the baby, he also ate the baby, but the baby's made him strong. Now it's a 2-on-1 match. Bullet Bob and the baby that's in his stomach against the Stomper.
It is very interesting. The 4th and final seal has been unsealed off of the tomb of the second coming of Christ. If I am correct in my knowledge of Revelations, we are at the end times. Oh, good goodness, the 4 horsemen have entered the arena, not Arn Anderson, J.J. Dillon, Tully Blanchard, Ole Anderson, and Ric Flair, but the actual satanic 4 horsemen. I am Gordon Soley. My soul has been ripped out of my spirit. It is 2 separate things. I have never seen a soul in front of my own eyes. It is bleeding. Black blood. I now am aware of every mistake I've ever made and every indecision that caused harm to those that I love. We'll see you next week right here on Championship Wrestling from Florida.
Yeah, so the winner of this match, obviously, Bullet Bob.
What?
YOLO. We get some Cornette promos from his bed with the Gigolo and Dr. Tom Pritchard in the bed with him.
Do not be in bed with the gigolo, Jim Cornette. Be careful. He will shave your back. Imagine that. Jim Cornette wakes up with a, what the fuck? Who shaved my back? I like
The
it
only
there.
good thing about this is the gigolo fucked me in my ass and shaved my back.
He did not. No, in my act out, he did not fuck Jim Cornette. He just shaved his back.
No, in my act out, he fucked his mom.
Whoa, he fucked his mom, or he fucked Jim Cornette?
Both. Anyway,
Whoa.
I've been cuckolded by the gigolo.
My favorite. You
I
did
fucked
not
my
know this
mom.
about me, but I've invented something called super cuckold. That's where someone fucks your mom and you watch. You're super cuck.
Anyway,
You
John,
stand. You don't
what's
get
the
a
best
cuck
match?
chair. Best match? Tennessee Stud versus Bullet Bob Armstrong with
Yeah, I
a
love the
fucking
Stud.
bullet. Oh, my God. Literally just lanky man versus slightly built man. Who's gonna win? They're both tired.
cigarettes versus booze. Who wins?
That's exactly what it is. It's 3 cigarettes before the match versus a can and a half of Coors before the match.
Yeah, yeah. So, I think that I don't know. I think they're all the same thing, and I think that's why wrestling like this is good for your body, because when you only get slammed once a match,
Yeah.
you can do it till you're dead. I don't know how the guys now are doing. Like the fact that AJ Styles is still wrestling at 50 fucking years old, just fucking juiced out of his mind. It really shows how bad steroids and pills were for you, where it's like those guys in the 80s were doing a slightly sped up version of Bullet Bob type wrestling and all died very fast.
Bro, it's so funny. Like it literally, you look at it's like AJ Styles every third match is going through 90 tables made of razor wire, and then he just gets up and is like, so 9/11's an inside job. Like, I don't know what believing in conspiracy theories does to you physiologically, but AJ Styles should be studied because I think he may be the key. As it turns out, believing in conspiracy theories aren't good for your health because of science, but actually really preserves you youth-wise.
Yeah, his belief in conspiracy theories makes him not accept that his back doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, it is weird to know that someone with such flowing hair also believes that Queen Elizabeth is a lizard. Like, it's just weird to imagine someone like Prince Philip's a pedophile.
I mean, wasn't that true?
Well, Prince Andrew's the only one we know that is a pedophile. Prince Philip, he cheated on his wife a lot, but we don't know the age of all of his paramours, so I'm doing some wild speculation.
Ooh, John, tell me this. Riddle me this.
Yes, my darling.
All right. So wait, my favorite match. I guess they're all tied. Honestly, they're all tied. They're all number one to me. John goes with Stud first. Then who's second? John.
Stud first.
Okay.
Go with Lumberjack match second because it was so fun. It was the best use of a heel ever. It was a great way of how you do non-wrestler wrestling matches. Just also 2 tag teams in a heel stable. It's just so cumbersome. So weird.
But I like it though. If you really sell tag team wrestling, that means, oh shit, these guys have chemistry. Of course they're going to be good. Anyway, and then the last one obviously would be the Stomper.
Yeah, not enough stomping for me.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I picked that match is because obviously no dates on any of this. It's just YouTube shit. But I listened to a whole thing about Bullet Bob, and Cornette said that Bullet Bob had a match against the Mongolian Stomper that made him think wrestling was real again, which I was like, Jesus Christ, that is. And he's like 15 thinking wrestling is real. So it's difficult if you're gonna take anything away from Jim Cornette's politics, of some of which I do share. It is easy to take something away when it's like, well, this guy did believe wrestling was real past puberty. So
yeah, it's also that thing of, you have to remember, is like Jim Cornette doesn't like. In Jim Cornette's mind, it's like, well, I could have been a newspaper man like my father, or I could follow in the greatest art humanity has ever created, professional wrestling. Isn't that painting? Fuck you.
Which, to be fair, Jim Cornette financially made the right decision.
Yeah, this is the other thing to remember is Jim Cornette was a millionaire in the 80s. This is the thing I was thinking about. I was like, man, Jim Cornette, in one way, I get why he's angry. His passion isn't what he wanted, but it's also that thing of like, hey, bro, you've made nothing but 6 figures in your life for like 40 years. And it's like, yep. And I got a fuck room in my basement, and I've got a vault full of wrestling memorabilia. And in between those 2 levels of my house, I am filled with rage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously he's my conspiracy, my AJ Styles theories on Jim Cornette is he's obviously playing character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
he's
exactly
a wrestler, and he's pretending or acting like he believes something he does not, which I would call professional lying, John. John, you get to pick our next guy. Who is our next guy or girl?
Our next guy. I hope you're ready. Are you excited? We're going to
Yeah.
do The Gangstas in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. We're doing New Jack and Mustafa
Okay.
in
All right.
Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
That's good. That'll be really fun.
Hey, this one's for my friend OJ. 2 down, so many more to go.
Thank you guys so much for listening and watching and I don't know, feeling us. Thank you very much for
Squeeze
feeling
us.
this shit. Rate, review, subscribe, and review and rate while subscribing. Fucky shit, fucky piss. Thank you. See you next week. We'll talk about the gangstas in Smoky Mountain Wrestling.